The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here he is, Brandon.
Welcome to the Brandon Peters Show. And to those of you that are watching this on YouTube, happy 4K Blues Day, as we always say. The real first episode of this year. I know it's February already, but I needed a little bit of a break. Got some stuff going on here. I have been recording for the summer of 2004 at 20. We're already, as of this, 4 deep into the recording. We finished May. It's in the can, so don't worry. It's going off without a hitch. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about on there. It's going quite well. Right now, going to start here. The year off with something I used to do at So Blu. One of the things I brought to the table editorially, not a review thing, but I'm as nutty a collector of Blu-ray and DVD and all that stuff from all my years, VHS even, and it's probably not an original idea, but I didn't see it getting written anywhere at the time when I started right there in 2013. In November, I wrote an article called Brandon's Blu-ray Wishlist, because I was thinking like, why isn't this on Blu-ray, or what titles need to be on Blu-ray? What am I waiting for? You know, that it was I think I did like 14 titles for 2014, and most of them have been out by now, which I had a pretty successful batting average on some of this stuff. Some I never imagined. I'd had some wild, like, long shots that, like, Scanner Cop movies one time I did, and those like came out on 4K, both of them. It was pretty awesome. Those went from VHS only to 4K. But it's a series I wrote. It started in 2014. Then I decided, in January, I'm like, I'm going to make this a weekly article. And boy, did that become too much to do, like coming up with every week and everything like that. So for 1 year, I did it as a weekly article, and then went back to just my annual one, which sometimes that was a lot. I put a lot of effort into this. There's a lot of research that goes on, and it was one of my favorite things to do there. And now I no longer write at So Blu, but I wanted to continue doing it. And this time I'm going to bump it up to, since when I started that, the Blu-ray Wishlist article, Blu-ray had been around on the market for 7 years at the time. So now we're here at kind of 8 years for 4K. So it's time to retire the desires for standard Blu-ray titles, and I'm moving my way on. This is now here at the Brandon Peters Show. It's going to be Brandon's 4K Blu-ray Wishlist titles I'd like to see announced at least in 2024. Now, how do we do this? Well, here's the thing. And especially in the 4K era, this cannot be, it's not a United States only thing. It can be available anywhere. I've been a region free Blu-ray person, so I always took that into account. Like, well, you can buy it over here, or it's region locked over here in Argentina or whatever. So 4K is, the idea of 4K is that it's supposed to be unlocked. Blu-ray discs still have region encoding and stuff like that, but Blu-ray or 4K is supposed to be free. I know people have reported, and Diabolic has reported, Diabolic DVD, best place to pick up your Blu-rays. Always support them, Diabolic DVD. No, they don't sponsor this. I like their game, and I enjoy purchasing from them whenever I am able to and can. They reported some have been locked. This could be a mistake, or it could be intentional, but the idea is you put a 4K out there, anyone can get it. Because why not? We can all shop internationally so much easier than we used to in the past. So I don't try not to do, or especially these early ones, like special. I want a special or special edition. No, it's just got to do the jump. So even if it was like, bare bones, there we go. Ideally, we'd want all great bonus features. But in this era of being allergic to collecting and all that stuff, man, just getting stuff on the formats makes me happy enough. But there's some the list in here is easier because 4K hasn't jumped in the way Blu-ray has like taken off with titles, especially like, since like DVD and stuff like that. When we were in uh when I started the Blu-ray wish list, we were really far in, and there was stuff that I was just like, why are we still not with this one? Where is this one at? Why haven't we got this on Blu-ray yet? So yeah, 4K is a little easier to come up with a wish list, I'm not gonna lie, but we do have some head scratchers. I mean, we're now at the point where True Lies and Abyss are gonna be able to own on 4K. That's insane. That hey, here we are. And who'd have thought the last James Cameron movie to get 4K would be the first Terminator? That's crazy to think about, but who knows? Yeah. So also, I'd love feedback. I'd love to hear your titles that you want to see. That's one thing I always liked in the comments is seeing what other people would like a movie that didn't even cross my mind. And someone, one of my readers kept like Ghost in the Darkness, Ghost in the Darkness, Ghost in the Darkness every year. And I would kept forgetting. There would be movies that would be on my mind. I go to make the list, forget the next week, be like, oh, that one. And I can't remember. There was one that like took like 4 Blu-ray wish list years for me to finally land it on there. So if I'm talking nonsense, I'm sorry, but I kind of geek out on the prospects of this stuff. There is a title that would be on there that I know is on the I've known for like 3 years now, 2 or 3 years now, has been in line to get a 4K, but there were some things behind the scenes. But it looks like we may see it this year. I know some things have happened, got in motion that we're supposed to in order to get this out. So, be on the lookout. I'll let you know what that one is when it gets announced. I hate to dangle that carrot over you, but it's okay. Anyway, let's get to this 4K wish list thing. We'll start with like the most obvious that is there. And it's gonna there's a like a sister brother series to it, but I'm gonna go with A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'll see you in hell. Tell him Freddy sent you.
Where the hell is just the first movie? Like I know there's a set you could easily do. Where's the first movie? I still own my UK one because this came out in the UK region free like 2 years, maybe 2 years before it was in the US. And that was crazy. Like that's when I was starting to notice more overseas stuff because they had like this, they had Lethal Weapon, the Police Academy movies had been there for years and years, and like almost a decade before Shout Factory put it out. But Nightmare on Elm Street, like Wes Craven passed away, that could have been a time for it. Scream Factory put out a Friday the 13th box set, which all these are essentially at Warner Brothers now. New Line is under Warner Brothers, but there were New Line movies in the Friday the 13th set, and they put out that set, and there was like, oh, next year it's gonna be Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what nothing. Word is they weren't. It's not like they weren't trying, but something wasn't happening. So I don't know what is holding up at least the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Paramount put out the first Friday the 13th on 4K, and then just no, because I think the problem is they put them out for feelers with one, and then they like, no, people hold off on the box sets for these. So ideally, this is a plea for the box set of these. Maybe you want to throw the remake in there, go for it. But I'll say just the first one at least. I mean, get it going. Give us Freddy in 4K. Like, come on. But here we are. We're sitting here. And if you could schmooze a deal to get Never Sleep Again, like the ultimate film, making a film documentary, awesome. That'd be a cool way to make it fresh and new. But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. Where is this? Where is Freddy? Like, not just with new movie, but like, why not give us the classics? So this is the biggest head scratcher because horror sells. These things are collector's items. These are like immediate buys for anybody. And I have no idea, especially us geeks that collect physical media. you're gonna get people that don't even give a shit about horror. They know Freddy Krueger, and they're gonna know it's a collector's item, and they're gonna want it. So just put them all out, 4K, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's my first one. Another. Let's continue the head scratcher rule. So, 2022 came, 2022 went, 2023 came, 2023 went. You could have picked either of those years to celebrate Bob Fosse's Cabaret.
Screw Maximilian.
I do.
So do I.
Which was an Academy Award darling. Yes, it was between Cabaret and Godfather Part 2 all through that Oscars night. Bob, it was the first Godfather, not Godfather 2. First Bob Fosse wins over Francis Ford Coppola. Liza Minnelli wins. Joe Gray beat out Pacino and company, and that was all nominated. James Caan, they were all nominated. Like, it was a back and forth where Cabaret might win Best Picture. It did not, but it was 8 times not. It won 8 Academy Awards. It was nominated all night, and you couldn't go by in 2022, the 50th anniversary of the movie. You couldn't go by 2023 when the 50th anniversary of winning the awards, and you couldn't put this movie out on 4K. I have this cool little digibooks I used to like that they put out early in Blu-rays and then decided, it's a waste of time. But yeah, where was this? Like, this is a classic film. This is an all-timer. This is a Central Hollywood classic, and just loads of accolades, songs. Like, I mean, ideally, you put this out on 4K, maybe get a couple new bonus features, and deliver a soundtrack as a bonus. That'd be cool. But no, Cabaret remains on standard Blu-ray. Why? Just to note, for the 50th anniversary on this show, we celebrated. Greg McGoon and I will be returning very soon, folks. Had a insanely wonderful discussion on this movie, which I am a huge fan of. And this is a movie that at first I was like, I saw it in college in a film class, and I wasn't ready for it yet. And it's then become like a favorite of mine. I love it. It's one of my favorite musicals. And I love everything about it. Liza Minnelli's great in this. I love the songs. I just love the vibe. It's a incredible film, powerful. And yeah, it's lacking a 4K. Where is it? Warner Brothers has this. They do a pretty good job. They had their 100th year that this could have been in there, but no. Okay, I'll stop whining about that head scratcher. Now, another film that celebrated 50 years in 2022 that I figured our old pals at Criterion might have upgraded there was Andrei Tarkovsky's Solaris. One of the greatest science fiction films ever made, one of the most haunting movies ever made, in my opinion. This movie spooks me, creeps me out. Like, the space in this, this movie takes a bit to get going, though. I think the rain at the old farmhouse and stuff at the beginning just looks absolutely beautiful. The video watching prep scene and the driving stuff is kind of it takes a while to get going. But once you're in space, and arriving at a barren space station with wires hanging out and just doors not working and stuff, and then the specter of your dead wife appears. Like, this movie's insane. And it's very long, but it's very thought-provoking. This was the emotional answer to the the cold intellectual 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's how they fit. But I feel like there's this awesome trilogy we have now with 2001: A Space Odyssey, Solaris, and Interstellar from Christopher Nolan. I feel like those fit in these categories. But this movie has some of the coolest set design. It's tragic, it's eerie, it's thought provoking. It's everything. Like I love revisiting this movie. Like I can either just vibe to it or I can open my mind and think deeply to it. And it would look wonderful in 4K. It's due for it. This is one of the first Blu-rays they put out, I believe. I'm not sure. I wasn't working on Criterion's anymore at the time this got released. This was not one of the titles. I left QC back within like Criterion's first year or second year. I can't remember which one, but yeah, Solaris, that would be a wonderful release that would make me very, very happy on 4K Ultra HD. So here we are. Next up, we got let's go here. Let's go from prestige stuff more over to some of my favorite like schlock horror stuff. But Dario Argento, a man whose career, him and Lucio Fulci's career, in the advent of Blu-ray, shot up in terms of, I think, fandom. They already had followings and stuff. They weren't like some discoveries or stuff, but I think the appreciation factor when their films were properly restored and shown as they should have been in the proper, not only the proper cuts and edits and aspect ratios, but the just seeing how smart and what an eye these guys had for the medium and just how gorgeous their movies were and how cool they were and how they were their own thing. And maybe you grow up and you just understand a bit more. But every time one of their movies is announced on Blu-ray or 4K, it brings me great excitement. I gotta have it. Like I've got all of them. Only thing I'm missing now is that Psychic 4K that came from Severin. And I feel like I just bought it on standard Blu-ray, but I'll grab it. I'll grab it. I would like that Fulci Western Silver Saddle because that's the only one of the few that are missing now. I know Germany has one released for it and stuff, but I don't have that. Okay, so there was a series. Arrow and people did a series of Argento's films that were like, okay, here, we're going back and we're remastering them. We're restoring them. So you have like Bird with the Crystal Plumage. You have Tenebrae, Phenomena, Cat o' Nine Tails, Deep Red, like getting through all those. And it's like, oh, okay, so what is next? I kept saying Inferno. Oh, that's got to be the next one. That's got to be coming. That's got to be no. Inferno just is left in the dust. I don't know where Inferno's at. I don't know what happened. This was typically lumped. Does it have different ownership than the others? If you know, tell me because I didn't look that up before this. But this is one I've been perking up, waiting for an announcement for Inferno because this is a beautiful looking movie. This is a thematic sequel to Suspiria. It's in the middle of that and Mother of Tears. This is the third one, which came many years later. But Inferno, this was released by Blue Underground here in the United States, and it was released by Arrow over in the UK. And it's gorgeous. Like it's colorful. It's got that Suspiria colors vibe thing going. Similar designs. There's one of my favorite sequences ever in a movie when a woman goes into a like flooded ballroom through the floor and swims around looking for a necklace or whatever, and it's just gorgeous. And I'd like to see it in 4K. I don't know why this one's not in 4K. This keeps getting skipped over. I don't know what's going on. We have Four Flies on Gray Velvet, the hardest Argento movie to have rights things and whatever to get out. That's out now on 4K. Like we have it. So now Inferno is in this weird spot of being the one that like, what happened? I want to know where Inferno is, please. So if someone knows more information about Inferno, I'd love to hear it. Write it down if you're on YouTube in the comments. Hit me up on social media. Tell me, because I'm looking forward to the day I can watch a new restoration of Inferno 4K, because this is a wonderful movie that I think is overlooked. I don't think it's like I don't want to say overlooked. I don't want to say like, oh, it's this huge, amazing gem, but I think it was unfairly touted upon release, and I think it has a lot of value and is a lot more respectful and up there to par with like Suspiria stuff than it's given credit. So yeah, Inferno. Hopefully we can see this someday soon. But for now, I have my Blue Underground edition of it. Here's another one. Kubrick was on a roll. We do have his Fear and Desire coming at the end of this month. This is February when this is released and recording. So that be on the lookout for that. That's coming from Kino Lorber. That's coming in 4K. It's his very first movie. We had Warner Brothers was on a roll and nothing this year. So everybody thought Eyes Wide Shut was coming. Did not. I'd like to see that on 4K, but instead I'm going to put Barry Lyndon up here.
Captain Feeney, that's all the money my mother had in the world. Mightn't I be allowed to keep it? I'm just one step ahead of the law myself. I killed an English officer in a duel, and I'm on my way to Dublin till things cool down.
Mr. Barry, in my profession, we hear many such stories. Yours is one of the most intriguing and touching I've heard in many weeks. Nevertheless, I'm afraid I cannot grant your request.
Ryan O'Neal, in a perfect performance that I think was just went over people's heads back in the day. I think he's a pretty fine actor. I like What's Up, Doc. I love The Driver. I've typically liked him in everything I've seen. I don't see this like dullard that people like to point at him with. But Barry Lyndon's one of his finest hours. One of Kubrick's masterpieces. Like, this is really good. First time you see it, might be okay, but every time you return, you're like, dang, this guy honing in on his craft. This is a schmuck thing. So like right now, Napoleon, that movie out with that Ridley Scott did, that's like his Barry Lyndon. It's about a idiot in power or doesn't earn power to get into it and stuff like that. And there's a lot of that with this. Well, once again, beautiful cinematography. As you guys know, I can be a cinematography whore. This is famously naturally lit, but it feels genuine with the costumes, the performances, the way he shoots it, like paintings and stuff. It feels just authentic. And I'm sure you've heard plenty about Barry Lyndon over the years, but it's all true. I probably would like I probably like Barry Lyndon more than I do like Clockwork Orange nowadays and stuff like that. So like this one is one that when I first went through Kubrick's catalog when I was growing up, I was just lesser. I didn't care for this one too much, and it's only grown in esteem as I've gotten older. Fun side note to Barry Lyndon that has a little to do with Barry Lyndon, but not like the movie itself. When I was in high school, on my senior thesis, we had to write this paper, and it's like you pick something. I wrote mine on Stanley Kubrick because he had recently caught my eye. He had passed away famously. This is, I believe, before Eyes Wide Shut and came out, and I was like, I gotta find out this guy. So I did research and stuff, and went through all his films and was looking things up. And this movie, I felt like at the time, probably still today, not like the normies, the genuine viewer probably has forgotten Barry Lyndon or doesn't think about Barry Lyndon. It's just Kubrick was always, The Shining, Clockwork Orange, 2001, Full Metal Jacket. Like that was like where it was. And then Spartacus, of course, another one. Lolita, even if you were on the cool edge of things, it was probably like Lolita was there. So, in my high school, I was in drama. And there was a thing called I was in charge of something. Like there's like this hand-me-down tradition keeper that they did. There's a thing that you do at the end of the weekend of the play, and there's a thing every night before the play. I was in charge of the pregame thing. So it was called Herja. And we would go up to a costume room upstairs. It was soundproof. You couldn't hear shit out of it. You take the whole cast and what crew you could, and you went in there, and you just kind of screamed, got everything out of your system before going and put it on the production. Well, the first night you tell all the freshmen or the newcomers in the play, you scare them about Hudja Hudja. Oh man, it's going to be this crazy thing, whatever. And then the person like me in charge has to tell them the story of how this tradition came. And there was this like drama teacher that used to like, the story was like there's this drama instructor and he used to come by and he would grab people on the ass and say, how's your ass? How's your ass? How's your ass? Or something like that. And it just got turned into Hudja. So this like sexual assaulter at our school apparently is like keeping alive in this tradition. But there's a name for this person and I never picked it up. And the person I got this tradition from was long gone and I never listened to it. So my friend Melissa tells me, like, just make it up. I was like, okay. And she was the only person I kept this with, but I named the teacher Barry Lyndon because I was looking at the Kubrick films and stuff. And I was like, well, no one knows what Barry Lyndon is. So I named the guy Barry Lyndon and moved on. So I don't know how far the name Barry Lyndon carried for that, but it's a little soft spot in my life with the Barry Lyndon as we have here. Okay. So let's go like super old. Let's go super classic. Let's go silent. I would like City Lights to be on 4K.
All right, City Lights is my favorite film.
See what you can do with a Chaplin film. Now I have Chaplin in this box set from the UK that has City Lights in here on a disc as well as everything else. But we should keep this tradition. We should keep this going. We need some silent films, more silent films on 4K. Chaplin, of course, a master. My other option was Safety Last, Harold Lloyd. One of these guys got into 4K at some point. Criterion was put on a Chaplin Fest when they were easy. They were slow rolling it out with his collection. Instead of just putting out a box set, sometimes just put out the box set. They put out Fellini set. Awesome. Thank you. Hopefully they do a Kurosawa set we're all hoping for. But the Bergman set, this is great. Just stop and then roll it out later. We'll get the set, and then the ones who want to wait can wait. It's like binging. Like some of us will go, well, I mean, you could say it the opposite way. So it's not like binging, but Chaplin, his work should be there. I say City Lights to kick it off. Why not? Or The Kid if you want, but we definitely need some Charlie Chaplin on 4K Ultra HD. Best you can with that. Also, Bogart. I like him a lot too. And The Treasure Sierra Madre.
We are federales. You know, the mountain police.
If you're the police, where are your badges?
Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Which, you know, we don't need no stinking Blu-ray. We want 4K. So this is such a highly influential film. It's called a Western, but I never really consider it a Western. Sorry, I got an itch. But Bogart should have his work out of 4K. Right now we have Casablanca and we have Maltese Falcon. So, look, we're working our way down. So Treasure Sierra Madre, another John Huston collabo, should come next. And then The African Queen. We can do it, Warner Brothers. You can do it. It's 100 years. Celebrate your stars in 100 years. So they did do Maltese Falcon. That was great. But now Treasure Sierra Madre, one of the greatest American Western pictures out there, should be on 4K. It's an excellent film. It's been mocked, ripped off so many times, homage to, redone with a different name type things all the time. And it's one of Bogart's best performances, I think, personally. And it's a movie, once you see it, you never forget it. It's that good. So definitely say Treasure Sierra Madre. That would be an awesome pick to be on 4K. And I must mention, when we're on like the subject of like black and white movies and stuff, those have been some of the best looking things on 4K Ultra HD that you ever seen. That there's such a look to it that those films have benefited a lot from that upgrade. So yeah, like if you've looked at like It's a Wonderful Life, the Hitchcock movies that have come out, they look gorgeous. So speaking of Hitchcock, Where's North by Northwest?
I know, I look vaguely familiar.
Yes.
You feel you've seen me somewhere before.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how I have that effect on people. It's something about my face.
It's a nice face.
Why isn't this on 4K Ultra HD? This would be amazing to have on 4K Ultra HD. My favorite Hitchcock film, the ultimate Hitchcock. And it was in the original Blu-ray box sets, which have been replicated into 3 volumes on 4K. But this was a loaner from Warner Brothers to Universal to put in that set. They did not do it this time. So now it stands alone. And Warner Brothers, where was this in the 100 years? I mean, like, really? It's one of your best films. You have a Hitchcock gem, largely considered at least in his top 5 best, sitting there. Release the damn thing, or do your own Hitchcock collection set, because your Warner archives have a lot of Hitchcock. Even if it's got the Paradigm case and or the Capricorn, put them together, baby. Put it in there. Let's do it. You got dial. So what Warner Brothers, what they could have right now, you could have a set with North by Northwest. You could have Dial M for Murder, The Wrong Man, I Confess. Those are solid gems. Strangers on the Train also. That's a hell of a box set. Though that, you don't need that. I mean, you could leave off Under Capricorn in the Paradigm case. There you go. You could do that. But yeah, I don't know what their deal is. I would buy that box set in a heartbeat. Stage Fright. They also have Stage Fright and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which Mr. and Mrs. Smith is the only Alfred Hitchcock film that exists that didn't make it to Blu-ray yet. That's it. That one's sitting at Warner's as well. So, I don't know what to say. Put North by Northwest on here, man. I like this. I don't know what the hell holdup is with these old movies, because these are also go in this weird category with us Blu-ray people that are like, we will collect. If we see something that's a gem, even if we haven't seen it, even if we're not that big on it, we will grab it in our collection because it's important. Which I can't imagine a lot of people not liking North by Northwest that are collectors of 4K Blu-ray. Like, that'd be really weird if you're not just like cool with North by Northwest. But this is one that's just I feel like instant seller. Like, I don't know if you're getting the normies or the casuals, but put a limited edition steelbook of it or something, or make that set like I was saying, and take our money, put it out there. All right, we got 2 more. Another Warner Brothers. I'm hounding Warner Brothers here. They've got a lot of stuff sitting on the shelf. In the 100 years too. Also, I don't know. Maybe it's a film print condition, dangerous to do or something like that. But King Kong.
There the beast and here the beauty. She has lived through an experience no other woman ever dreamed of.
There's no King Kong. We're getting the 76 one on 4K from Paramount. That's really cool. What about the original? Where's the original been? We keep having these Godzilla v Kong movies. He's out there. We have a Monarch series, stuff like that. People are good for kaijus. Where's King Kong? The original King Kong. This masterpiece needs to be out there. I would love to see this cleaned up in a 4K with a lot more depth and stuff, and just see what's going on. This is such a, I mean, this feels like one of those in home video history. Like, oh, we have a new format. We'll put King Kong on it. Put King Kong on it. Ever since the dawn of making movies sound, King Kong has been there. Like, we need to put it out. Like, it feels like that's an instant. Like, when there's a new format, it's like, oh, when's Star Wars coming out? I feel like King Kong's in that category. Like, when's King Kong coming out on it? But Godzilla doesn't have a 4K for the original either. So where's the love for these giant monsters terrorizing town? But King Kong, I'm putting in there. This one, I would like to. I would like to see this one this year. This is how crazy the 4K list is after so many years, compared to what my original Blu-ray one was. And my last one, I beg of you, I beg whoever, just like, I'm stunned this hasn't happened, but just one pre-Daniel Craig James Bond movie on 4K Ultra HD, please.
You must have followed us.
think you got the point.
I don't know why the 60th went and we got nothing. Not even just Dr. No on 4K. God, that would have gone a long way. No, nothing. James Bond, always popular. People like to buy. Bond has its own separate set of collector people. It's a long-standing tradition of stuff that like people collect, like Doctor Who. People buy the people who don't collect Blu-rays collect Doctor Who Blu-rays. Like that's how deep things get. Like same thing with Bond, same thing with some of these other ones out here. But like James Bond's got a rabid fan base. It's big. It's stuff. We want restorations. Where like my favorite James Bond movies from Russia with Love. You can put that one on there, or maybe start do those like the Pierce Brosnan set because those really didn't look the best in this set. But where is James Bond on 4K Ultra HD? This has been like I hate to get like these are little problems and get worked up, but we're in the heat of a passionate thing that us collection stuff are passionate about. There are problems that need our focus in the world, but we're talking about movie studios and what they could do. Where are you? Where are you? See, like I kind of like James Bond. I'm just curious what happened here. Like the ball was dropped. You could have done a set with just one from each guy and tested it out, see how that went with 4K. But no, it just remains. We have Daniel Craig movies on 4K and nobody else. Please get these out. Like that's like a huge wish right there. And I can't believe I'm saying, can we get the Bond movies on on Blu-ray? Which these did come out in a weird way where they had these little like sampler sets. Like they think that's cool to do. They always do. And then they finally were like, here's Bond 50 and it's got a spot for Skyfall in there when it's ready. So enjoy. And I think there are some movies that weren't out yet. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, but they did it weird with DVD too. And they did it weird with VHS when they remastered. They did the 1990s. They did a remastering and they're like, here's Sean Connery's and the Lazenby one and one Roger Moore, and we'll be back later with others. Like, just put them out. Put out the set. Put doubling down on things. The Blu-rays, standard Blu-rays, but put it out. So, all right, folks. This has been Brandon's 4K Blu-ray wish list. What are yours? Tell me yours. Tell me any info you might know about the ones I did here. I don't have as much time to go on I didn't like going on forum boards and Why So Blu days because I would see myself getting ridiculed on there because of merely reviewing a Blu-ray. So I'm kind of lightly touch in there. I look if there's correction discs or there's like emails or something or like place I need to send a corrected disc and they might have the info. That's about where I go on the forums there. But let me know any inside info you know about those or what you're looking forward to. What would you like on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, and what studios you think would be cool to put out some of the ones I listed here. Like who you think would do the best job or you would like to see. Like I think, we always think Scream Factory for some of these like the Freddy movies, Halloween, stuff like that. But I think it'd be awesome if we got a little turn where like Arrow did Freddy or something like that. It'd be kind of cool. Like that, or the the Vinegar Syndrome release of North by Northwest. Think about it, folks. Think about it. Think about it for a sec. But yeah, let me know if you're on YouTube. Let me know in the comments. Also, follow me at Brandon4KUHD on X and Instagram, and I'm also on Letterboxd. So if you want to see what I'm watching on there, you can go ahead and follow me on Letterboxd. And yeah, so coming up on the Brandon Peters Show, yes, of course, I mentioned we are in recording mode for the summer of 2004 at 20. We will also be returning next week with an all-new episode, the Rom-Com Roulette, featuring myself, Jessica Alsman, and Greg Magoon. We're going to talk about 3 rom-coms called Rom-Com Roulette. Also returning later on in the month, we'll also have another Products from the Panic with Troy Bramfield, as well as more other things here. And stay tuned to the YouTube channel as I will still be doing 4K reviews when I can there, and those will be exclusive there and not released on the podcast. So those will be a visual experience over there on the YouTube channel, or if you're at the YouTube channel, hello, that's me waving for the audio people. But yeah, so as always, lots to come. I'm sorry for breaks in here and not as frequent episodes right now as I'm turning gears into getting ready for PopCon 2024 Indianapolis, as well as the summer of 2020. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate your follow. And it's good to be back here on the mic for 2024, though we did have one episode already. Good to see you. Good to hear you. I'll talk to you soon. And as always, stay phone positive.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios, and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.